Hello, and welcome to Season 2 of the Real Juggle. I'm Jackie P. Taylor, and this season, I have a cross-section of people who are going to enlighten, entertain, and empower you to be your best self. I mean, these folks are doing some really amazing things. And just like the rest of us, they also have areas of their personal lives that they're juggling and that they're working really hard, just like all of us, to just keep it all together. So let's jump right in. I committed this season to continue on my own personal journey of being vulnerable and being transparent. As a mom, I've been really transparent with all of you about some of the challenges that I've had raising multiple children with mental health challenges, not unlike the challenges that many of you out there deal with every day. I mean, I've been very judicious about protecting their anonymity, but at the same time, I've also still been committed to being super transparent about how their challenges affect the entire family unit and how it's affected me. So I thought it made sense on today's episode for us to talk about reaching out for help when you need it. And I thought the best way to do that would be by reaching out for help myself. Now, we all have friends and family members that we tap into for advice from time to time. But, you have to be super deliberate about who you ask for help, depending upon what you need and what your situation is at any given time. So as I said, I'm a mother of 5. I'm a professional, and like most parents, I really want to set up my children to be as successful as they can possibly be. So when you think about all those things, the person that I thought of that I should reach out to for some advice that came to mind was the one and only Miss Evelyn Braxton. Now, Miss Braxton is the mother of 6 amazing children who are all successful in their own right. She's also a very accomplished pastor, in addition to being an accomplished mom. She's now an author of a new cookbook, Cooking with Miss E, which we're going to talk about in greater detail in a little bit.
How did the bachelorette party go, Trey?
It was nice. It was nice. It was the nastiest bachelorette unsafe party I've ever been to in my life.
I'm just really excited to have Miss E join me today. Let's jump right in.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I start out the conversations usually by asking, what is your juggle? When you think about your personal juggle, what do you juggle in life?
Well, life itself. Life is a juggle. Trust me, because nothing remains the same.
As a professional in corporate, you spend a lot of time working and you make a choice as a woman to be a professional and you try your hardest to be there for everything. But you can't be everywhere at all times. So just give me some advice. I mean, I try to tell myself, listen, write a book about it one day. Like, I'm doing the best I can. But what advice do you have for other moms or parents that are balancing everything?
That you can't be everything to everybody.
That's right.
You just can't. That don't feel like you're not going to make mistakes, because you will. Mm-hmm. You're human first, okay? And you're not always going to think things really through. And sometimes the advice you give is not a good one. So you just have to chuck it all up to experience and hope and pray for the best. Because we're human first, baby. We're not super beings. And everybody want to put a lot on women. A lot. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse.
Amen to that.
To be honest with you.
When did you feel like, because your kids are super successful, like visibly successful, and there's all types of definitions of success, but I don't think anyone would debate that all 6 of your children have reached the pinnacle of success. Right. When did you feel like, wow, I've done a good job. Like, I'm good as a mom?
Shoot, girl, I'm saying that now. When? I say it constantly, because I look at them and I see the blessings of God. You know, yes, I was there to teach them how to sing. Yes, I was there to lead and guide them. But everything was done in God's own divine order. And so I just say, look at God. You know?
When you think about child rearing and your child rearing years, talk to me about the sacrifices that you had to make in life to support your kids and their dreams.
But you know, I love being pregnant. I know
Somebody's gotta love being pregnant.
I really loved being
Really? All of them, all six? You didn't have a
last one
Wow,
of it. And
okay.
I tell you why. I just felt honored that I could give life to another human being. Yes, I had hard pregnancy, absolutely. And so as they began to grow and what have you, it was not easy. Getting up in the middle of the night, feeding them, doing this and doing that, making sure my ex-husband and I have to bring him in there too, because we both raised the children, okay? It may not, you know, everything is over now, but that's not the issue.
Right.
The issue is I cannot take the credit that he put in and the time that he put in, okay? And so working together with the children, it was difficult. It was, sometimes they would get sick and what have you, but one thing I did not do, I did not allow them to eat behind each other.
What do you mean?
They couldn't drink water behind each other. They couldn't eat a hot
Like
dog.
sharing glasses?
Couldn't
Or
share anything.
why is that?
Because if one would get sick and they're sharing, everybody in the house.
This is pre-COVID. See, you had a vision. We should all
Yes,
do
I
that.
did. Everybody in the house.
How did you prevent that from happening? I mean, kids eat dirt, let alone like Tamar drinking from like Toni's cup or something.
No. They don't do that.
So you know,
To this day.
I was just going to ask you. Do they do that now?
To
That's
this
funny.
day. They don't do that.
That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
So what about like, is your family, do you walk in the room and hug each other? You know, some families when you walk in,
do.
it's disrespectful if you don't like hug or kiss when
We
you come
do.
in. You do. That's
We do.
important.
We do. But it has nothing to do with eating behind.
That's true.
me. What, saliva in my
Right.
mouth doesn't go in yours.
Right.
So yes, we hug one another, we embrace one another.
Yes.
We're very close. And a lot of people got it all mixed up. Don't get it twisted. I promise you, don't get it twisted. They're allowed to be who they are. Okay? They're different individuals. Their likes, their dislikes, totally different. Okay?
So what do you think about today's parents? I talk to my mom sometimes. She's like, you guys are just totally different. So you raised these successful children and you want to support your kids in their dreams. I want to do the same thing with my children, but you don't want to be overbearing or be a helicopter mom. Was there a time when were you always supporting them musically? Was there a time when they said, I don't want to do this? And you were like, you're going to stick to it just to show?
Oh, yeah.
How did you navigate that?
I always supported them. Whatever they wanted to do, I would support them. I put my life on hold to ensure their success. So I would travel with my kids. On Toni's first tour, I was there when she was with Frankie Beverly, because the girls was underage, and it was nowhere in God's heaven that I was going to put my girls out there on the road by themselves, because it's just too much.
Right.
Oh, you can trust me. I don't trust nobody but Jesus.
Don't trust them as far as you can see them.
You know what I'm saying? My girls, yes, I trust them, but I don't know you. How about
And
that?
they're still impressionable and vulnerable, and especially with the industry. So that makes a difference. You can see a lot of other people in the arts or in other careers. They don't get that level of like
Get that
support.
Get that.
Yeah.
But I did what I needed, that I felt that I needed to do to ensure their success, to ensure their life, and their maturity, whatever.
And it all worked
I
out.
was talked about. Ask me, did I care?
What did they say about you?
Ask
Miss E?
me.
What are they going to say about you?
I was a controlling parent.
Oh,
Say what you want to say. How about that?
look at the product. So something panned out. Yeah.
Some of us need to be.
Mm.
Because I think, from my opinion, Some of these kids are out of control. Oh, baby, you sure? Where do you want to go tonight? You sure? Okay, we'll take you over there. You don't even check it out. Letting those kids go to other neighbors' houses.
Just drop them off and
just
keep
drop
going.
them off and keep going.
No,
Why?
true.
Because you want your freedom, for God's sake. I need some time, girl. I need some time for myself. I mean, girl, I'm tired. Those kids wore me out.
It's true though. But okay, but what about the other side? You had 6 kids, I have 5. Sometimes I need my me time. I do solo vacations. Like I do need woosah time because you got to keep yourself from going crazy. So how do you keep
but that
yourself?
doesn't mean that you're going to drop them off to neighbors that you don't know anything about.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, just talking to you, and I'm picking up your spirit, that you get everything set up before you even make a decision
100%.
For your children.
100%.
I'm sure that you're making sure that your children are safe.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and you're thoughtful about where they go.
Everything.
You know, when I was younger, we would do a lot of overnights and sleepovers and things like that. I don't even really push that now because there's so much going on. This, you know, it's just a different time. You know,
well,
so
my kids never really have sleepover time. I told you I didn't trust anybody but Jesus.
It's true.
I'm just keeping it real.
And you kept them safe.
And I kept them as safe as I could. And even doing all of that, some of them fell into God's hands, you know. And I actually felt guilty about it, although I didn't know anything about it, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But it hurt me to my core, you know. So that let me know that I'm not perfect.
Right.
I'm just human.
That is such a lesson for parents. You're not perfect, you're human. And I find, you know, sometimes kids keep things to themselves. And you don't realize until you're in a family therapy session that they mentioned something and you're like, I had no idea. Like, I didn't even know. And like you said, it's hard to shed that parental guilt, but you have to go to God, self-talk.
Yeah. All of that. All of that. But we do the best we can in raising children. And I'll tell you another thing I found out. You know, we may say, oh, they're so hard-headed. They don't do anything I tell them to do. They're not supposed to do everything I tell them to do. They're not supposed to.
Tell me more.
If they did everything that you tell them to do, how would they grow in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for themselves? We don't do everything God tells us to do, but we learn from our mistakes.
Right.
Am I not right?
You are absolutely right.
Well, what's the difference?
That's true.
Only difference is we're not listening to God and they're not listening to us.
So let me 100%. What about back talk? Because that's the thing. Like I
don't roll.
Okay, good. Okay, I just want to make sure.
I thought I'd throw that in. I don't roll like no. I don't.
Oh, that's back talk. I told you, 13, 14.
Yeah,
so it's all these teenage age where they're smelling themselves and they're feeling themselves and all that. Even if they don't talk back, the heavy breathing. I have a thing. I'm kind of old school. Walking away and talking. Oh, no. So what was your pet peeve raising your kids? What was the thing that got under your skin?
That I'm trying to talk back and that.
Tamar didn't talk back.
All of them tried. I said that was my pet peeve.
I hear you.
Absolutely.
I hear you.
So they will try that. Trina called them mean ages.
Mean ages.
Mean
That's
ages.
True. They do get a little.
They get a certain age, they get a little mean, hormone, acting like a fool. Yeah. They don't know what to do. They looking at the little boys looking at them and what have you, and
they start feeling themselves.
They start feeling themselves, and you know, that type of thing. It's what you call life, though.
Yeah,
maturing until, and you know, to what they need to be and what they need to do, for God's sakes. I mean, you didn't do everything you were supposed to do either, I guarantee.
Yes, I did. I'm just kidding. My kids might watch this. I did. I did. I was a good kid, right, Mom?
Yeah.
But you're right. We don't. Everybody has to grow and has to learn.
Everybody have to grow and develop.
So you created God Heals organization.
God can heal the heart.
God can heal the heart. Tell me a little bit about that organization.
I'm just going to kind of cut it short a little bit. When I went through my transition of divorce and what have you, I was devastated. I was so devastated because he was my first, he was my everything. Yeah, he those eyes big because it's true. But and when it happened, I didn't know what to do. People say, well, just go on with your life. How do you go on with your life?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Get over it.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah.
How do I get over it when you love someone that deeply and it was about them and your children and so in your home and trying to keep all of that together and you being a wife and putting everything that you wanted to do on the back burner because you wanted to make sure that everything was fine for your family. And so I felt like it took me forever to get through it. But I had this dream. I went to bed and I was just devastated. And I'm like, Lord, what? What do I do? How do I do it? Heart was broken, just. But anyway, make a long story short, I had this dream and it was a desolate place. There was no flowers. The trees were broken from the wind and everything was dried. It was no life. It was nothing. Okay? The trees didn't even have any greenery on it. Everything. Okay? It was cold and the ground was damp. And I was walking through that area and I was crying. This was in the dream. And this man appeared to me. I didn't see his face, but I saw his hand. And he reached down, and I was on the side of the road. And he picked my heart up from the ground, and he took it, and he closed it in his hand. And then he opened it, and he took it, and he put it in my chest. All of a sudden, there was a rainbow. The tree blossomed. The sun was shining. The moon was huge. They call the harvest moon. All of that.
Wow. You see all of that at the same time.
All of that at the same time. When it's visions and dreams. Everything is different.
So you stopped crying and you just felt.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then he picked me up and he carried me. But when he was carrying me, my heart was mended. But there was my foot behind him was something dragging in the dirt. Well, that was my heart. That was dragging in the dirt. And I came up with, and after that, I felt rejuvenated. I was all right.
Just that dream after
Just that dream.
Wow.
It came to me that God can heal the heart. Then I went from place to place telling women, you can get through this. With God's help, there's nothing too hard for God.
Wow.
And so that's why I came with that.
That's amazing.
Look at God, and God can heal the heart.
And I know that a lot of people, I get a lot of messages and I keep a pen and paper next to my bed because when I wake up, I have to do it as soon as I wake up.
Yes, so because you forget.
Right, exactly. Or you'll start
Absolutely.
missing pieces. That's awesome.
But I never forgot that. And that's been, oh my God, over 20 years ago.
Wow. That's something new. I didn't know that about you, but now I know the backgrounds of the organization. So now you have, when we talk about comfort and things like that, I go to food sometimes, probably more than I should. But you have your new cookbook out, Cooking with Miss Eve.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Cooking
gosh.
with Miss Eve. My mom's recipe, basically.
Nice.
When I was growing up, this lady was just so phenomenal. If I could be half, just half the woman that my mom was, I would consider myself a success.
Wow. And I already think you're a success. So did you, because my mother will often say, I'll say, write it down, so we remember. She's like, no, you have to just stand next to me and watch me.
Uh-huh.
So did you watch or did you write it down, and kind of, how did you come up with these?
I watched.
Okay.
I watched her. And a lot of things after I got married, because I got married when I was 2, and I had Toni when I was 3. So I was quite young. Did you see?
I know. I was like, wait a minute, where's she going? But I hear you. I believe you because there's absolutely no way. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But you got some good recipes. There's a few mac and cheese recipes in there,
Yeah.
right? There's more than one. So, and do the kids call you on Thanksgiving? Like my sisters call my mom and say, hey, so what did you put in your stuffing? Does anybody call you?
No, because we all cooked together. And they know what to do.
Good.
They know exactly what to do. Do you know they try to tell me what to do?
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
And you're like, my mother used to say, that book you're reading, I wrote it. Now you can really say,
I wrote that. How about that?
So now, in the spirit of our discussion, there is one recipe that you have to talk about. It's called the Look at God cake. I can't even say it like normally. When I read it, I have to say, look at God. Look at God.
Look at God.
The Look at God cake. Tell us about the Look at God cake.
Well, I was 9 years old, and my mom sent me to the store, and I was raised in Columbia, South Carolina, and she's in the kitchen cooking with a beautiful round face, salt and pepper here down to her shoulders, kind of short. That's where Toni get her height from. And she would always hum, I do the same thing. I didn't realize it, but that's who I am. And I went to the store, and it was walking distance. And the first one to get in the store, and of course the last to leave, especially during that time. But those people had a parrot, and their train was parrot.
A parrot?
A parrot.
Okay.
And when I picked up the bread, the parrot said, "Ah, in still, in still,
In still?
in is stealing.
Oh.
Polly want a cracker. Polly want a cracker." But when the whites pick up whatever, the parrot said absolutely nothing.
How you have a racist bird?
Well, the bird had to be taught.
Mm.
I was devastated. I cried and still had to be the last one in the line. And the parrot was constantly saying, "Ah, in stealing, in stealing." Polly want a cracker. Polly want a cracker.
Wow.
Finally, I got to the desk, paid for the bread, cried so profusely, tears running down.
While you were at the register, you couldn't even hold
I'm
it.
still crying.
Oh my gosh.
But when I got outside, oh my God, I boo-hooed. Oh my God. I mean, my face was just wet from that, they called it during that time, snot. And tears, everything.
You couldn't breathe.
Couldn't breathe, But when I got to the house, I gave Mom the bread, and she was humming. And she stopped, and she looked down at me. She said, "Baby, what's wrong?" I began to tell her what happened. And she said, "Mom," she said, "Baby, what's wrong?" I said, "Mom, why are they so much better than you?" She said, "Baby, there's no one greater than you except God." That's my motto. I tell my kids, I'll tell you, I'll tell him. I don't care what happened. I don't care how much money you have, how much money you may not have, education, it doesn't matter. I honor you for your work and your contribution. Right. But you're not any better than anybody else, but we all have the same basic needs. You don't think so? Every last one of us have the same basic need. And so as I grew, I began to say, "Look at God," because my mom would say that also. Look at God. And so I started making this cake. Everything is in that cake.
I noticed, like it's a
Everything.
Yeah.
Bananas, that's the white people. I'm just saying. Okay.
It's a multicultural cake.
Yeah, multicolor. It's multicolor cake. You know. But what I'm trying to show them, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what color you may be. We are all God's people. And we need each other if we would just only understand it and only believe that. And so that's where that cake comes from.
Wow.
Look at God.
Wow.
So all my life from that time, it's just look at God.
Wow. That's awesome. I'm definitely gonna try. Hopefully it comes out tasting
It will.
The way
It will. If you follow
the recipe to a T.
You got this, girl.
Okay. And then give me some advice. If I have a rough day with the kids and I need something to make me feel, ooh, but what else can I look forward to in that cookbook? What should I make?
Blackberry dumpling.
So I can sop it up.
Incredible.
Blackberry dumpling.
Blackberry
I'm gonna try
dumpling. Your children will love it also. Especially when you de-seed it. You take the seed out, boil it, take the seeds out. I can't do the seed because my teeth, I'm always getting my teeth fixed. But that fried cabbage, incredible with the onions and the green peppers and frying that, baked fish. It's just so much
many
in
options.
there.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal book.
Yeah. When you talk about raising kids and helping families stay connected, there's nothing like cooking together.
Yeah, and sometimes when they work on your nerves really bad, go in the kitchen and cook. That's therapy.
I just have to find somebody to eat it, Miss E, because I can't eat all that food that I cook.
But sometimes you don't need anybody to eat it. It's just therapy.
Just going through the motions.
Yeah, and you're resting your mind. You're thinking about something else other than, oh, they did this, they did that, they did this. Okay, they're going to do that.
Right.
But go and hide. That's how you can hide.
That's a good piece of advice. So we're going to wrap with my rapid fire questions. First question, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
I love coffee. Second question, a lot of friends or a coveted crew?
I have a coveted.
I hear that. And then the last question is, what is your go-to self-care routine? Because you look good, so I want to do what you do. What's your go-to routine?
Well, you know, that's a hard job. Somebody has to do it, though. But anyway, no.
I'll try a close second.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I may be many things, and I'm going to tell you this, and this is just how I feel. I may not be the prettiest woman in the world, but I'm in the top 2. And I'll tell you why.
Why is that?
Because I leave the top 1 for you guys and my children. How about that?
I hear that.
And when you feel good about yourself, this is not a problem.
I hear you.
You wake up in the morning, you're so grateful. You like, okay, like I said, what am I doing today? First, I get up, take my shower, girl, get my little self together, get my hair done, my face, and I'm out.
I hear that.
You know, I think when people get a certain age, they need to stop putting themselves on the back shelf. Like they don't matter, like they're no good. Oh, I better not put that on. Why not?
Right.
As long as there's life, you got it. Now, when life stops, you don't have anything to do with that. But as long as there's life, enjoy your life. Enjoy what you look like. Enjoy what God is doing for you. Are you kidding me? It is what, I'm the king's kid. You didn't know that?
I know, I can see it. I see the Christ.
I am heirs and joint heirs in Christ Jesus. I'm royalty. You didn't know? There's a mighty poor frog that doesn't praise his own pond.
And with that, I leave you with Miss E and her cookbook. This has been so good and energizing just talking to you. And I hope that everyone listening and watching gets that same level of energy, because it is obvious that your wisdom comes through, and the fact that you are prioritizing yourself at this stage in your life comes all up and in and through this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Appreciate your
having
time.
me.
Of
I do
course.
appreciate you.
And I'm gonna
Thank
listen to
you.
your tips.
Thank you. Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much.
As you saw, oh my gosh, she is an amazing, remarkable woman who came, conquered, and delivered. I can't ask for anything else. This is Jackie P. Taylor for the Real Juggle signing off. Be kind, be a blessing, and be yourself.